Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to you. Welcome to the Two-Way Street Coffee House. My name is John. There will be a test. Thanks. There's a lady here who's here tonight. I won't mention Betsy's name, but she calls me Bob. We're hybrid again tonight. We have a camera on the roof over here on the ceiling. You can either be here live like you are, or you could be home in your jammies watching it on YouTube. We're a hardcore listening room, David. Which means, I got to pick on somebody. Which means when the performer's performing or when I'm talking, we are listening. My regular guy Jerry's not here tonight who has the hook, so it'll be on the honor system. We're an all-volunteer staff. Been an all-volunteer staff for 53 years in this house, in this room. Tonight we got Tim doing sound. We got Nick and Jennifer doing the coffee. And here comes the test. What is my name? Thank you. Thank you very much. So tonight we've got Lee Murdock in the coffee house. Lee has been here a bazillion times. And there's flyers on the table that give you a clue as to who's going to be here in the weeks to come. And so with all of that, so Lee, would you like to play some music? Well, come on down.
Got to get things situated here. Huh. It's great to see everybody here. And thank you for coming out. You notice I was wearing a mask. I just have a little cold. And so I just thought I'd do that to make everybody comfortable, or to, if you don't like me, I can get out of here without knowing. Now, some of you have been to my Christmas ship concerts, and I usually do a few of them in the fall. And I'm filling in for somebody. I can't. Jennifer? Who was supposed to play here and couldn't make it? Rupert Waits. Okay. And so what we decided to do, rather than just do another Christmas ship concert, I would do a concert that I normally did out of my living room the day after Christmas. It's called Wordless Christmas Live, and we just be in the fireplace on the back of me, and I just play instrumental music, Christmas carols and stuff like that, and say silly things in between. No singing. Okay. And so there's going to be a fair amount of that tonight, some of this stuff that you may not have heard for a while. And so that's kind of, I'll sing some of the songs that you want to hear also. But this first piece, music was composed by Gustav Holst back in 1906. And it's, I have no idea where this arrangement came from, somewhere in the ether. So. Winter. Actually, it was a poem that was composed in the 1870s. And some of you probably know the name. I can't, it's Christina Rossetti? Oh, okay. Doesn't sound English to me. But could be. Now we'll do something a little different. You might recognize this. Something like that. But I'm going to save my voice for the next one. Second verse. A day or two ago. Yeah. When I play that song, every time I look in the mirror, I start to wonder who's in that mirror. It looks more like a guy who's really busy on Christmas Eve. Many years ago, 1992, at the Maple Street Chapel, Brian Dagenhart said, "Lee, I want you to come and do a concert for me." And so we decided to do a concert called the Christmas Ship Concert. And now, I was singing Great Lakes songs, and this was a great, magnificent story, as some of you know the story. And I was kind of going like our publicist, Michelle Lodestro, said, you got to do a concert about this song. I said, great. How am I going to do a whole concert on one song? But what I did was I just went ahead, and the first set was just talking about Great Lakes history and songs and stuff like that, and then culminating with the Christmas Ship song, which I will sing later on tonight. And on the break, I was very thrilled that I got through that, and I was sitting back, and so, because I was really on the edge because I didn't know how I was going to go, and there was a grandmother came up and said, Lee, I'm having so much fun, I can hardly wait till next year's Christmas Ship concert. And I went like, ooh. But what she did, she set me on a path to find interesting poems and songs about the sailor's life being away during the holidays, you see. And this is one of those poems that was written by the lighthouse keeper at Portland Headlight, Charles Robinson, I think was his name. And it's I put it to my melody, but my source for kind of the melody was I was doing a show on Mackinac Island, and we were out in the southeastern part of the island outside. For how many of you collect lighthouse miniatures? Yeah, right. Scasis and that. So, well, they had me up there to do this conference, and we were outside, the 1,000 people out there, But in between songs, I kept hearing this bell. It was like, no, I'm a folk singer. I'm not a sailor. I'm a folk singer. And then I kind of looked out and I said, oh my goodness, there was a bell buoy out there, and it was just this beautiful, beautiful sound just ringing to its environs. And that's what is always in my head when I sing this song called Bell Buoy on Christmas Day. All the year long the bell buoy rings over the shoals in the outer bay, but never with sound as glad and clear as that which it throws to the wind today. In autumn noons and summer nights, it warns the vessels of hidden woes, and the weariless toil in the fog and dark kept faithful watch as it fell and rose. This clang of duty, not great nor far, nor sharp and loud on an angry wave, for 12 long months has sounded out like a passing bell or sailor's grave. But its brazen tongue is glad this morn as it swings and rings on the sunlit bay. Is it trying to tell us that Christ was born far over the waves on Christmas Day? "1988 Christmas Day." It was written. Thank you. I think that's the southeast. Yeah, it was Mission Point. Yeah, actually. Out there in the soggy ground. Nothing like playing into a big sound system in soggy ground, you know. Adds a little zip to the show. This next song, this is a favorite of mine because I have a wonderful recollection of first hearing this song. Now, Mike was telling me earlier about the Ed Sullivan Show on Sunday nights and stuff, and the Beatles and all that, you know. And of course, we were religious. We watched that show, but we watched other ones too. And since us kids were very fond of The Wizard of Oz, when Judy Garland had her show, we watched it. And now there's a YouTube video of her singing this song, and it was 1963, and the composer was playing the piano. A fella known as the Velvet Fog, Mel Torme. And Mel Torme actually composed this in July by a swimming pool in Los Angeles. But it's such a magnificent work, made most popular by Nat King Cole. And this is the key that they sang it in. So, let's see. That last piece was courtesy of Wes Montgomery. That last flair, whatever it is. I'm playing guitar. I don't have to talk. Now, some of you are familiar with a lot of my work on the 12-string, and I don't really do too many instrumentals on this. But I did work this out, and it's there's so many overtones in this. You're going to hear it. I enjoy it just to hear the instrument sing out the way it does. So it's a medley that has God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, and then Little Drummer Boy, and I Saw Three Ships. I got to put a ship song in these things. You know? It's that simple. So. I like how that first piece, it almost sounds like it's from the Middle Ages, you know. It's that's very English, you know. And it's rather upper crust English, as a matter of fact. And I've got this foggy voice tonight, so the English accent is especially good. And if you're concerned about my discourse, it's not my fault. It's my Uncle Lee. When he died, stuff started coming out of my mouth, and I don't know where it came from. So, but this is let me take a little. The apple cider is great here, by the way. I'll do another lake story, and this one I feature a lot of times in the around Halloween. It's about a ghost. and it's a centered on Lake Superior, and it's back in the, what do I want to say, in the old days, around 1900, 1910. There were life-saving stations along the south shore of Lake Superior, and they were about every 10 miles. And one of the jobs for the surfman or lifesaver or the storm warrior, one of their jobs was after dark was to walk the beach. And what they would do is they'd head out from the station and with a flare and a lantern after dark. And then if they encountered something that was a distress or something, they would shoot off the flare and assistance would be rendered. If not, they'd meet somebody halfway to the other station, remember, 10 miles apart. And then they would hand a token over to that person, and they would exchange tokens. And then come back to the station, report to the commanding officer about what they saw. And as it turned out, in the beginning of the 1920 season, west of Whitefish Point, in a Crisp Point light and a station, a few miles west of there, they found a sailor encrusted in ice. And William Riley was his name. And he actually was a crewman on the John Owens that went missing the previous November in Lake Superior. And so they cut him out of the ice, and they took him back to Sault Ste. Marie so that the family could claim the body, which never really happened. But the story doesn't end there because there are a lot of locals that even to this day, they still see him out there walking the beach. And so this particular song is from the perspective of an old-time lifesaver talking to a new recruit who's just about to go on his first beach patrol. And it's called Riley's Ghost. It goes like this. When the wind whips up the waters along Superior shipwreck coast, many miles of desolation you must travel to reach your post. With your lantern you'll be searching for ships and sailors in distress. It's the duty of a serpent to bear witness. Back in March of 1920, west of Crisp Point in the ice, was found a frozen sailor. Old Man Winter claimed his price. William Riley was his name, late from the steamer John Owens crew. But since that day, some folks will say they've seen his spirit too. Oh, the winds will rage and blow, pile up the drifting snow, and the wolves howl in harmony through the night. He's still out there on his own, and you know you're not alone as you walk this empty beach by lantern light. winds will rage and blow, pile up the drifting snow, and the wolves howl in harmony through the night. He's still out there on his own, and you know you're not alone as you walk this empty beach by lantern light. Now some surfmen may boast and bluster about their valor and brave deeds, while in service to the sailors and those ships that are in need. But when the wind whips up these waters along Superior's shipwreck coast, while on patrol, keep an eye peeled for Riley's gold. Yes, on patrol, keep an eye peeled for Riley's gold. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I got my start in music in the church choir. Now, keep in mind, when I started singing, I was about 4 years old. And I guess I could carry a tune. People didn't discourage me from singing, which was nice. As a matter of fact, we were doing this, I was 4. We were doing this block party. You know, back in the 50s, that's when they had they'd put clothesline up and a lot of blankets and stuff like that, and kids would run around and all that type of thing, you know. And so, you know, I was used to being kind of the center of attention, and there was nobody paying any attention to me at all. And so I went to the garage, got a black plastic badminton racket, and started walking around, playing it like a guitar, singing "Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." Yes, I still have the black plastic badminton racket, as a matter of fact. But one of my favorite memories from my early forays into music was in that church choir. And these are a couple of those, especially during the holidays and the candlelight service and stuff. And this is a couple of those that I just really enjoy playing on my high-strung guitar made by John Larrivee. Or as I sometimes refer to it as my guitar with hypertension. And you'll hear why. Because it's... you'll hear why. That's not the right key. It goes like this. Pretty impressive, huh? Professional show. sing along, but that's okay. Well, this next piece, I figured it out a long time ago, actually. 1974, I was in Iceland, and there was a fella from Czechoslovakia traveling with us, a couple guys, which was pretty exotic because that was a communist country. But Iceland was kind of like a caught between the East and the West, and still remains so to this day, of course. And what was interesting was that they played some of the folk songs of their country, but they also had a nice version of this next song. And I was so inspired. When I came home, I made an arrangement of it for myself, and then over the years added to it. And then probably about 25 years ago, I came across an amazing English composer named Ralph Vaughan Williams. And his version of this piece, Fantasia, is on Greensleeves is just magnificent. And so it's kind of like channeling that a little bit. So this is my version of What Child Is This? Well, time is flying by, so I'm going to do one more song. But before I do that, a little bit of a advertisement. Couple things. Much of what you heard tonight is on this album that I put out a number of years ago called A Wordless Christmas. And this is basically, see, like Jingle Bells and stuff like that, I used to do on the stage in July all the time. So it was just, and this is kind of what I did. Ask Joanne. For many years, I would just play these things in my living room because it's fun, you know. That's how I moved myself on the instrument. And then also, this is available here for the first time in this form. Many years ago, in 2005, I put out a little book called Christmas Goes to Sea, a little gift book. It was, I don't know, how many pages was that? Do you remember? 35, 40. And with a lot of pictures in it and stuff. Well, we sold the last one out last year. And so I was able to work with the artist and get some rendering into the CD form because we actually made more CDs than we had made books. And so I got like 500 CDs at home I got to get rid of. So you're welcome to take one of these home. They're $15 or two for $25. And then also, if you aren't having enough of this Lee Murdock stuff, we are doing a concert in Caneville, Maple Park, at the Caneland Arts Initiative. That's people with the high school there that promote arts in the school. And it's a benefit concert that we do every year. And this year, Eric Noden and Joe Falisco will be our guest. So come on out and we'll have a nice time. It's an early start, so you can get home. You know. High school auditorium. Thank you. She's my business manager. See, that's important. It's my job to play music and say stupid stuff on the stage, you know. So. No, it's not politics either. I'll finish up with the title song of that work. Composed or published in 1942 by Rachel Field, a little book of Christmas poems. Keep in mind what was happening in 1942, not unlike what's happening now. And you know, with a lot of turmoil and war, etc. And what I like so much about this is the simple imagery, and it really, I think, speaks to the true meaning of the Christmas holiday. Christmas Goes to Sea. I saw a fishing boat steer by, bluff proud beneath the winter sky. It was Christmas, dusk was falling. The hull was crusted dark with spray. All around the water spread gray. Seagulls followed calling. But to the masthead gallantly was lashed a little Christmas tree, a lonely green arm to pledge a pine. No bright festoons or gifts it bore, but yet those empty boughs held more than blinking lights and tinsel for its sign. Such a grand sight it was to see that small seafaring Christmas tree high amid the shrouds and spar. And all night long I thought about it, salt-crusted, wind-buffeted, and only lit by Bethlehem's brightest star. I saw a fishing boat steer by, bluff proud beneath the winter sky. It was Christmas, dusk was falling. It was Christmas, dusk was falling. it was Christmas. Thank you so much.
Well, like Lee just said, we're going to take a short break. He promised me he has a whole new second set.
Yep.
So we'll take a short break. You can refill your coffee cups, buy some merch. You wouldn't mind selling some merch? Okay. The merch, I think, is on the counter. Our trusty counter people will be more than happy to take care of you. Washrooms are out the door and to your left. I never start when there's a line for the washroom. I never start the second set. So do what you got to do.
sends the box out because they belong to some place. People want to go in, you know, and now they also take like toiletries, like lotions or shampoo and everything. And I have all this other stuff. So I got this whole bag to clean. So when we go to our soap and toothbrushes, I just found out it's so we're gonna find it all in county. Yeah, and it's the 900 block of Ashland, South Ashland Range. They didn't even give a specific address, but they said as soon as you go on the 900 block, you'll see the house. All of the cars blocked out, and the house next to it says, ditto. Yeah.
Okay, take care. Nice seeing you. Somebody surprised me. I have a Christmas tree in the basement. I bought last year. But we have no room. So it's down in the basement. Have you been to Wolfram since we got all these sofas?
Not since Mary was, or the one, so Bonnie, no, I haven't seen Bonnie's. I saw the one in Murdock.
You haven't seen the red?
I am cooking out.
The one in the summer.
Yeah, there's one out on the back porch.
Oh, the real ones on the front porch.
Right after Christmas, we're gonna put a sign out there, sign in the store.
Yeah.
The one from
Well,
Bonnie.
the ones going down. Zero.
But you know, I'm reluctant to move anything because if we, on the outside chance we find a house in the western suburbs, we'll want to use this furniture. But I stuff weed whenever mesh.
Oh, yeah. Had a bar. Another day, say another day, another day.
Was it this year or was it every day?
Yeah, I was like, so how long did it
You know what Hubbard's cave is?
Right.
I guess it's the house.
And you thought he was gonna be used. You were like, oh, I'm probably gonna be
It's like you guys already do it, you know?
But I learned this over. I don't know.
This one is 1985, and this one is 89. His wife Wendy did all the inlay.
Do you know them personally?
Yeah, I was one of their artists back in those days, so I got a discount on it. Not this one.
Yeah.
This one. He actually built this for me for high school.
No kidding.
Voiced it.
So what does that mean? Is it
What it means-
Is the neck stronger with a
No, basically.
what I did was many years ago, mid-'70s, I was in Iowa, and there was a studio called KJAG Studio that did a lot of country music.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they had was the high-strung guitar, which was the octave strings of the 12-string.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it was basically almost just like a ring, a rhythm instrument, you know, that type of thing. Well, I started to do shortly thereafter some instrumental stuff, and you know, you're playing this beautiful high stuff, and then all of a sudden you drop down to those two. That was kind of maddening. So what I did was I thought about it, and I said, well, wait a minute. This string goes up to G. Okay, what size is this? That string was a 009. Okay? And so what I did was I went to a 008, which back in my rock and roll days I used to use all the time, the extra slinky guitars. And so I went to a 008, and then I put it back here.
Okay.
So, and I could easily go up to A on that.
Okay.
So what I do is I buy a set of strings, get rid of the E string,
Okay.
and put the A string here like this.
Okay.
And it was this amazingly ethereal sound as you hear. And it was originally on a D28. In
Okay.
fact, I've got an old early recordings, me holding the guitar that was originally what I used.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I had him build this for me. And what I did was on the D28, I could get it up to A, but then the next day it would break the high A string.
Okay.
So I scaled it back to A flat, and it felt like a set of medium gauge strings.
Really?
And I knew there wasn't too much stress in it
Yeah.
because of that. And so this scale length on this guitar is a little bit longer than that. So what I originally did was I did this note to G.
Okay.
So I was three frets up, and what I ended up doing is I ended up getting a little bit more volume by going to an extra light set of strings and going up 2 notes.
Okay.
And so instead of this being an E, it's an F sharp. It still has this bell-like tone. Oh yeah, well
The
that's
sound of these guitars is just amazing.
yeah.
And your playing's great too. It's not just the guitar.
Well, the guitars help.
They do. Yeah.
But not this one. From Cindy's house, from Christmas at Cindy's house, to home. That's not sure. You know, it'd only be on the hour, the road for 1 hour. Because you're gonna be there for a while. Yeah. Oh, the one in Butterfield? Now, what time is
Oh, I go. You know what? Didn't Nancy go? Nancy went.
Well, where there's no line for the washroom, there's nobody buying merch. Lee's chomping at the bit. But most importantly, for the second set, we're going to put the ball on the other side here. So just so you know, this is the second set now, in case there's any confusion, you know. So I have a few announcements as soon as I whip out the sheet here. Next Friday, the 29th, we have an organization coming in called Music and Potluck, and it's a benefit concert for the West Suburban Community Pantry. So if you wanted to bring non-perishables, cans, or non-perishable stuff, that would be great. You can also bring a lot of money because they will be more than happy to take the cash from you. And the good news is that we got performers, so there'll be music and the potluck. We've got CT Theme, we've got Patty Peace, Mark Dvorak, and this other couple, I don't know. I think they're called Ashley and Simpson, who just happen to be the directors here. So yeah, tomorrow in this room from 2 to 4 is a country western jam, which is the same as a regular sing-around, only it's, you never guess what. Country western, hey, Joanne knows. So with all of that, where did he go? He was standing in the wing. He's there? Oh, good. So with all of that, welcome back to the stage, Mr. Lee Murdock.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, notice I rolled my sleeves up. Which means you might want to move back just a little bit. No. I was joking. But, hey, you know, whatever makes you comfortable. Back in the old days, I used metal finger picks, you know, and sometimes you don't get them on just right, take out an eye in the front row. This next piece I'd like to start with is timeless. It's I don't know where this arrangement came from, but I remember this is one of the first hymns I heard in church, and it's 8th century. There are days. You're right, I'm not, but this piece is, as I said, timeless. O come, Emmanuel. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys could come to my living room today. This is really, now back in the old days, all these walls were painted like brick. It was kind of like a faux brick type thing. Sponge painted, yeah, right. She's the artist anyway, you know. And it was really kind of cool to have the leaded glass windows and the brick and everything. And actually, a picture of Pete Norman might have the original way the walls looked like. I don't. Oh, his is a transitional? He remembers, you know. Yeah, yeah. Well, enough of that. Thank you so much. The first Saturday of December, I get the opportunity to sing this song down at Navy Pier in front of the icebreaker Mackinac outside. Oh boy. And sometimes, like this year, it was really pretty nice. Other times, less so. But I'm always warmed by the look on the children's faces because of the reason why the Mackinac comes. The year 2000, they recreated the Christmas ship story by bringing Christmas trees to Chicago for needy families. And since that time, they brought, this is the 24th year, I think, 24th time, they brought over 29,000 trees to needy families. Not only do they get the trees, but they get all the trimmings for the tree, presents to go under the tree, and a Christmas dinner, just so that those needy families have a little bit of normalcy in their life. Quite a wonderful gesture from the maritime businesses in Chicago and the United States Coast Guard. 2004, I wrote this song. Back in those days, the country was really divided, unlike now. But I thought just an act like this was one of those things that could bind us together as a people. And so I called this song When Big Mac Comes to This Harbor. And of course, that's referring to the icebreaker Mackinac, not the burger from that other place. At any rate. Lake Michigan lay down after a long and wintry night. The wind and waves subsided with the hint of dawn's first light. On the bridge of this old vessel with the coffee steaming high, I think about her story and the years that passed her by. In the crucible of war, it was then her keel was laid. An instrument of industry, a power staunch and staid, to clear a path for freedom through the ice-encrusted lake. A symbol of security found in her churning wake. As we slowly glide into this port, the frost hangs in the air. The bustle of the city streets in the distance you can hear. The pier sparkles festive on this cold December day, when Big Mac comes to this harbor to give Christmas trees away. Through the years she served us proudly, her men and women too. Through ice and snow, fair winds or foul, her Coast Guard course was true. And in her twilight time, as her future becomes clear, she brings goodwill for those in need and a little Christmas cheer. Now it seems a small notion with the problems of today, building to a great crescendo, both here and far away. But you have to start it somewhere, building bridges from despair. It's our most important challenge, and Big Mac has done her share. As we slowly glide into this port, the frost hangs in the air. The bustle of the city streets in the distance you can hear. The pier sparkles festive on this cold December day, when Big Mac comes to this harbor to give Christmas trees away. Now her sailing days are over, and she's tied up all the time. The coasties still salute her, on her decks the folks still climb. But the mission isn't over, there is still much to do for the next generation of Big Mac and her crew. As we slowly glide into this port, the frost hangs in the air. The bustle of the city streets in the distance you can hear. The pier sparkles festive on this cold December day, when Big Mac comes to this harbor to give Christmas trees away. The pier sparkles festive on this cold December day, when Big Mac comes to this harbor to give Christmas trees away.
Thank you very much.
This one you might remember. Very much. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm having fun. And, I had fun kind of preparing this because I don't do this on stage. Some of you know I don't do this on stage. Back in the 80s, I did it all the time. But I didn't do it that much. I have had a request for a couple songs. Well, at least one song. And I'm going to do that one now. I wasn't planning on doing it, but by request. And I have Joanne to thank for this. Partially. I like to keep the audience in suspense. She booked myself and Bob Gibson at this children's festival in Springfield. He saw the lake stuff that I was doing, and he said, Lee, I do some Great Lake songs too. And he proceeded to sing a couple of them. And this is one of them. He has an amazing banjo player and a great 12-string guitar. He had a Bojo 12-string guitar. That's what this one is, a 6-string, but a Bojo. And so this is a song that he taught me, or I was inspired to learn from him. It's called the Great Lake Song. Sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, coming down from Mackinac and Sault Ste. Marie. Blue water Huron rolls down to Lake Erie, falls into Ontario and runs on out to sea. The Great Lakes are diamond on the hand of North America, a bright shining jewel on that friendship bordering. It's a freshwater highway coming down from Canada, and all along the coastline you can hear the people say, Sweet Mountain, Michigan, Father Superior, coming down from Mackinac and Sault Ste. Marie. Blue water Huron rolls down to Lake Erie, falls into Ontario and runs on out to sea. Hardy are the seamen on the ships that load the iron ore, hauling out of Thunder Bay, bound for Buffalo. And hardy are the fishermen, like their fathers were before. They say, bury me at sea when it's my time to go. Sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, coming down from Mackinac and Sault Ste. Marie. Bloodwater Huron rolls down to Lake Erie, falls into Ontario and runs on out to sea. Down below the quarterdeck, old men mend the fishing nets, while up on the windy bridge, young men cursing to the wind. Up and down the Windsor Straits, the wise mothers lie awake. They pray Our Lady of the Lake will bring them home again. Singing, sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, coming down from Mackinac and Sault Ste. Marie. Bloodwater Huron rolls down to Lake Erie, falls into Ontario and runs on out to sea. Singing, sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, coming down from Mackinac and Sault Ste. Marie. Bloodwater Huron rolls down to Lake Erie, falls into Ontario and runs on out to sea. Runs on out to sea. Runs on out to sea. I decided to give your ears a break there on that last one. The voice was giving out a little bit, so play a few more songs here. You know, you think after 50 years I'd get this all straightened out. I don't know. Another amazing carol. Coventry Carol.
pieces originated just because I was learning.
Well, actually, give you a little background. I was a flat picker back when I was in the 70s, and no, I'm 70, but not when I, not, back when I was a kid. Okay, back in the 70s, and I did this workshop with Fred Holstein, and he said basically, you know, the songs. This is a guy who had a beautiful voice, great musician, banjo and 6 and 12 string, and knew like 1,000 songs. He knew all these songs and backgrounds on the song. And he said, you know, one of the things you ought to try and do is to learn how to play some melodies so that you can take a little bit of break from the words, you know. And so I took that to heart. And, you know, that's what happens in a lot of the pop songs. They'll have a lead part and that type of thing. So, well, yeah. You can sing along on this if you want to. Very nice. Well, I promised this song also for a couple fans, so I'll see if I can do it on this guitar here. I can do it here. Yeah, I'm going to do it down here. Go back in time to the old Chicago harbor, where now you see the steel and glass buildings. Imagine brick and mortar buildings and wooden warehouses on the lake shore and along the banks of the Chicago River. Side wheel steamers and canvas-laden boats going up and down the river, painting a picture of commerce, the early 20th century. A special vessel would come down from the North Country bearing small evergreen trees. There are a lot of vessels that worked in this trade, about 54 actually. But the most famous was captained by the Schuneman brothers out of Algoma, Wisconsin. What made them so special is, unlike all the other captains who turned these trees over to some merchant in some parking lot, they would sell the trees right off the vessel at the Clark Street Bridge more often than not. So you could step aboard and pick out your very special Christmas tree. Now, the Great Lakes are very dangerous to sail upon, especially as autumn turns to winter. Undaunted, though, year after year, the Shinneman brothers brought trees to Chicago at the end of the shipping season. Until 1898, August, Herman's older brother, perished on the Esthal off of Racine, Wisconsin, on that very same type of a trip. Undaunted, though, his brother took on the tradition, and his vessel, the Rouse Simmons, loaded 5,500 trees in Thompson Harbor near Manistee, Michigan, UP, for the market in Chicago. Actually, they sent another 1,500 by rail. Left on November 22nd in 1912. By the middle of the next day, they encountered a terrible squall, snow squall. They were last seen flying distress colors, the American flag upside down. Her sails in rags, hauled up for the shore, and then she disappeared into a snow squall, never to be seen again. The loss of that ship hit Chicagoans very hard that year. However, this story takes an amazing turn when the captain's wife took it upon herself the following year to keep up the tradition of bringing trees to Chicago and selling them right off the boat in downtown Chicago. Imagine a time when women couldn't vote in this country. Most women didn't work outside of the house. She was quite a role model for young women of the age. So as I sing you this remembrance, think about the faces on the children as they step aboard their Christmas ship, eyes wide, picking out their Christmas tree. The sadness that enveloped the city with the news that the vessel was lost, and then the celebration the following year and many years after that, when Barbara and her daughters continued on the family tradition. This is the Christmas ship. Clear the sails first. In the time of my life, the recollection often turns. The snow always fell knee deep, the ironwood stoves burn. The ever-present distant sound of jingling sleigh bells, combined with the cadence of stock and trade, into a wonderful swell. The creeping of the days never fostered any fear. The hours spent on sleds and skates only slowly disappeared. When a special day arrived, it came but once a year. When to the Clark Street Bridge we'd go, from the dockside we would peer. Oh, Papa, come look. Oh, Mama, can you see? I've been waiting for so long for this to come to be. Oh, Papa, come look. Oh, Mama, can't you see? Here comes the Christmas ship with all the Christmas trees. Now it was the Christmas ship that brought joy to us here. Those trees were grown up near Manistee and brought on down each year. Rouse Simmons was her name, three-masted schooner was her frame. And the winter wild waters of the lake she always overcame. The set of her captain's face and the smile within his eye electrified that Chicago dock and all its passers-by. But especially us kids, with the excitement that was there, we'd bring home a tree from the Christmas ship with holiday in the air. Oh, Papa, come look. Oh, Mama, can you see? I've been waiting for so long for this to come to be. Oh, Papa, come look. Oh, Mama, can't you see? Here comes the Christmas ship with all the Christmas trees. And when you're it all changed, well, as I can recall, I was in the kitchen playing by the stove as the shadows began to fall. A sun-warm winter day, no clouds crossed the sky, but the air grew damp, the storm rolled in and the snow began to fly. Papa came through the door, a sullen look was in his eyes. The weather's been real rough up north, he told me with a sigh. He said, the Christmas ship is lost. And then he just sat down. As evening darkened the room that night, a shadow cast o'er the town. Oh, Papa, don't look. Oh, Mom, I can't see. I've been waiting for so long. Don't tell this to me. Oh, Papa, don't look. Oh, Mom, can't you see? Where is that Christmas ship with all the Christmas trees? The seasons turned in time through spring, summer, and fall. And with most things my mind forgot that Christmas ship after all. On one early winter's day, like so many times before, I wandered the afternoon hours away, kicking down along the shore. When she came in off the lake, I can still see her now, with the scent of pine and the deep green water gently breaking off her bow. And a lady at mission waving to me there on shore. And she brought delight to the children's faces for 22 years more. Oh, Papa, come look. Oh, Mom, can you see? I've been waiting for so long for this to come to be. Oh, Papa, come look. Oh, Mom, can't you see? Here comes the Christmas ship with all the Christmas trees. Thank you very much. It's about all I have for you. You want one more, maybe? Maybe? Yes. Okay. But you're going to have to sing this one. I'm not going to. But it's a beautiful piece written by Franz Gruber. Yes, Stille Nacht. Written for the guitar because the organ was on the Fritz on Christmas Eve in 1847. I can't remember what town that was in. 1847. That's what I thought I said. But there again, I'm mumbling, so there's not a lot of air left in my lungs here. Merry Christmas.
Another wonderful night in the coffee house. Don't pack it up. Remember, I told you. Remember what I told you?
I just did it.
Oh, no. Because nobody gets out. Do we want an encore? Do you have one more?
I don't know if I do.
Oh, man.
Well,
Give us a word list too.
okay, I'll do it. Bouncing on the bed? Okay, sure.
So it sounds like he
That would be
has.
Santa Claus bouncing on the bed.
Oh, man. All right. Country Western Jam tomorrow, 2 to 4 in this room. Next week, the Music and Potluck Organization will be here. 100% of the door goes to that fine organization. And like that. So now,
For Courtney and Bevan.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, take it away.
Bouncing on the bed. Thank you again. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.